All right, this first merge is going to be against a F-5E, which is similar to a MiG-27 F-4 in turn rate capability. What else would it be similar to it? MiG-27, F-4, MiG-21 maybe, kind of idea. The Eagle should outperform this thing by miles. So you're going to see this guy try to go two circle, but we're just going to more or less no respect this guy. Plus it's the AI, so let's not get excited, but I just want to show you how this kind of goes down. Much like when we merged with this MiG-27, I'll try not to call it a Su-27 today. We'll drop some flares on the way in. Beak to beak, high aspect, on about 420, 440 knots. And he's looking for a little turning room right there, and then we'll go ahead and merge. And he is attempting to go one circle, which is a very foolish move. So he didn't even take the turning room. We're just going to turn inside his turn circle here. In fact, I might even go for a shot here. Now we'll let that develop a little bit. There we go. I can get my energy back really quickly. He does a barrel roll here, I guess. It's the attempted maneuver. And I'm just behind him, right? We came to a high aspect merge, and now I'm just behind him. Of course, the AI did not fly particularly clever BFM, if we're honest here. Damaged him on that one. Sort of bailed out of the shot. I should have stayed with it. I'm just outpowering this guy around the corner here. Maybe hit him a few more times in there. Get a little closer to our work. Terrible shot. There we go. That should finish him off. Victory roll. Hooray. We beat an F-5. So good example right there. High aspect merge, I turn. He actually reversed his turn, so he went away from his turning room. Remember, the turning room is between you and them. In general, you always want to turn into the enemy instead of turn away, which gives them room to turn. Didn't really matter with him, although he did give up room by turning away from me. That's even more turning room in pretty quickly. There wasn't even a circle really involved there. It was kind of a single circle to me carving inside of his turn circle and being in an offensive position more or less immediately. And then some relatively crappy gunnery. Next setup is against the F-14. I haven't tried this one yet, so this will be a bit of an adventure. I'm not sure if this is going to try to take me two circle or one circle, so let's check out the F-14 on this merge. Some of the others I've looked at, like the F-18, the way they've got it mech'd, it always wants to go two circle. Even if you try to reverse to, one circle. Even if you try to reverse to two circle, it will turn back into a one circle, which is not a great idea because it continues to let you get shots inside of it. Of course, this is the AR we're talking about. You can see he's probably trying to go two circle because he built a little turning room, just flaring like a mad dog. Alright, so there he goes, two circle. We got to pay attention. I'm bleeding off a bunch of energy right here. And even though he's one of the largest planes in the world, I've lost him. There he is. He's up in the blue sky. Alright, so they do love their vertical. They do love to take some altitude. I'm letting my airspeed get out from under me here. I'm at 450 knots, which is not where I want to be. So we'll come back up here. We're going to have to drive to his turn circle. Well, he is turning like a pig up here. I don't know if Goose has lost sight of me or what's going on here. I could probably have shot him in the face. Boy, he just does not turn. We're already beating him in the two circle. Even with my poor airspeed control here. Just keep on turning here. Actually lost him there. As big as he was, I ended up losing him. So we're going to have to power modulate to get to this next merge. Definitely wants to fight the energy two circle. And the AI does a lot of this yo-yo stuff. It's not, guys, it's just not a great idea. There's no reason. I know what it's trying to do, but it just really doesn't work against any kind of competent opponent. Notice I just didn't bother. I just stayed down and kept my energy up. And now this guy's in big trouble. We've already turned this thing into dropping right in behind him with a little power modulation. Oop. I lost a wing there for a second. These are hard to kill sometimes. They're pretty tough airplanes, actually. The engines, as wide as they are, they don't tend to take both damage in both engines at the same time. But that is a lot of 20 Mike coming towards it, fellas. A lot of 20 Mike. So as advertised or as expected, the F-14 doesn't have a whole lot of chance against the F-15 in a two-circle rate fight. As long as the F-15 player or pilot is competent, I actually almost porked it away there on the airspeed. You're eventually going to beat the guy in the rate fight. It isn't going to happen for the F-14. It just really isn't. The F-15 guy has to make a mistake most of the time for the F-14 to win. Realize that this is all guns only, so there's no missile defense, and I don't know if maybe the AI also has that in its mind, or that's been coded, or how it's set up. It does change things a little bit when you get threatened with the heat nose, with the radar nose / heat nose. That does change your BFM a bit. So we're doing pure gun here, at least I am. I don't know what the AI necessarily is doing. The yo-yo thing is, it's right out. It doesn't work. It doesn't. All right, next. So we just beat up on the poor F-5 and the F-14, two aircraft that, at least in relation to the F-18, have relatively poor turn rate and radius. The F-14 is actually pretty good, but in terms of against an F-15, it's not very good at all. Now we're going to take on an F-18 and F-16. We'll do the F-18 first. It looks like the way the AI fights the F-18 fight in DCS is it wants to go single circle nearly every time, or maybe every time. Even if I tried to reverse my turn back to two circle, it would switch to one circle. So it will continually give up turning room to go back one circle. So if I come back to another single circle leaf and I try to go two circle with it, it will then turn and reverse the other way, giving me turning room. So it's unfortunate that it does that. Remember, just because your aircraft is good at something, i.e. it's a F-18 and it's good at nose position fighting, slow speed fighting, doesn't mean you want to try to force that fight no matter what. You have to fly in relationship to the Bandit. I just got shot in the face by the F-18, so I have to watch out for that. It looks like if you point right at them, they're going to go ahead and try to take some gunshots. I actually got shot down on the last one from a face-to-face. I don't know of any way to tell it not to shoot me until we merge. So let's give this a shot again. We'll hit fly. Get a rudder lock. I'm actually going to go ahead and try to get out of plane with this guy a little bit. I don't like doing this because it's kind of giving up some room to him. But if I come over to the side here, maybe we can avoid this dude sort of shooting me in the face. Come back, we've got 2.5 miles. He's flaring, we'll do the same. Here we go, and we're going one circle with this guy. And he goes one circle. All right, there he is. So we're gonna come off the pull a little bit here. We'll give him a little bit of a snap there. That's a little bit different. I actually buried my nose there. That was an interesting move on his part. And took him out. Okay, so kind of a nose shot. Now that is a high aspect shot that in terms of training rules, we would never take. I would not pull a guy into the HUD beak to beak at that range in training, but clearly and obviously in actual combat, that is a valid shot, provided you're careful. The only problem with it is you saw his nose coming on. He may have got a shot on me as well. So that was really interesting. Let's try another one. Last one was pretty quick, so let's do another merge with the F-18 and show you a little bit more single circle work. We'll click fly. I got shot in the face, so this time I'm not gonna go low. I'm gonna actually come off a little bit here to the left for a right-to-right pass. Try to see if we can avoid him shooting us with guns, so we get some ranging here. He's got some flares going. Hopefully I'm far enough away. He's not going to be tempted to take the gunshot. And there we go. Oh, I over-G'd. That's the bummer. God, I hate that. All right, there he is. So he's flaring, which is nice. We don't get a gunshot at him. All right, so that's turning room for me. I got inside, maybe a little late on the reversal there. Don't want to spit out too far in front of him, so we want to... Okay, late. That is a late turn on my part. going to use a little bit of a vertical here. Okay, so we got some turning room now. Just enough to come inside him here. So I'm going to keep turning left. Now watch, he'll just go with me. Yep. So normally that would be probably a cue for him to go 2 circle. I let that open up way more than I wanted to there. Oh, actually, oh, okay, he did go 1 circle. Never mind. So we'll come back around with the work scan on him. Got a piece of him. Reverse that turn. And we snap him right there, and also able to turn inside. Looked like he was a little damaged because he wasn't maneuvering quite as well as he was to begin with. And there you go. That was a little longer 1 circle. Made a couple mistakes there. I actually lost track of him for a couple potatoes, and I let my circle open up a little bit. And you notice that next merge where he actually took a shot at me, that I widened that out. I wasn't as tight as I wanted to be right there. Tried to turn it into 2 circle, but he eventually came back around on that one. So there you go. A couple single circle, one that actually changed directions right there. Fights with the F-18. So as you can see, a more capable airplane didn't give me, or gave me way more trouble than the F-5 or the F-14. Let's move on to the F-16. All right, that was an F-18 block, the Block 20, I believe. If you guys are curious on what was going on with that, F-18C Block 20. This is the, well, actually it's right here on right in front of us. We can read that. F-16 CM BL50 *1, whatever that means. So a Block 50. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the specific BFM capabilities of the different blocks. I'd have to look into that. I've lost track of all that stuff. This is just the last one on the list. Seemed to be theoretically the most capable. It may not actually, but it's an F-16, and the AI appears to want to fight 2 circle fights in the F-16 against the F-15. So we'll hit play and see how she goes. Get a radar lock. Again, we're going to avoid beak shot, so we'll come off a little bit. What you're going to see, actually, I probably don't have to worry about it here, because what you're going to see the F-16 do is he's going to turn away from me a little bit. He's going to attempt to create some turning room for a 2 circle merge. See how he's not even interested and he's turning away? I'm actually going to take those angles as he does that. That's a fantastic thing for me. See how I got some angles out of that? That doesn't bother me at all. There he goes. And he's dumping his nose pretty good, so we'll follow him down and want to try to get our energy back up. He is really headed downhill right there. So we'll creep it back up to 420 or so in this next merge. There we go. He's flaring a little bit. This is working out nicely for me. I'm going to actually have to power modulate here for this next brake turn. I knew I was going to do that. That is unfortunate. Okay, he's headed uphill a little bit. I'm letting my airspeed get out of hand. So what I just did is I expanded the turn circle well past where I wanted to right there. I had a nice advantage built, and I sort of gave it away. I'm doing it again here, actually. He's using so much vertical, it's hard to keep track of my my energy without really staring at the HUD. Okay, that's good. I got some angles. We'll just keep that 420, 430. Classic 2 circle fight right here. Starting to align the circles, and what you're going to see the F-16 is going to want to do, the AI is going to want to do here pretty quickly, is it's going to start using some vertical as it starts to realize it's really losing this fight. That was a better brake turn for me. Broke down to 400 though, so I need to go ahead and bring that airspeed, creep it back up. So you don't want to just extend and unload on the stick, but you do want to come off the stick a little bit, so that you can get some of that energy back. So we're coming back to this next merge. We'll creep this up again. We're going to do a nice brake turn here. See how the circles are starting to align, and it's much easier for me to keep track of this guy. Also, you got to watch out for the floor. We're using, no kidding, terra firma as the floor. Don't want your lift vector creeping way above the horizon. Obviously, at this point, there's no vertical below us to work with. So we have to watch out for the actual ground. So I'll use this, there we go, so we'll come off, all right. Got some more angles out of that. creep it back up. It's pretty easy to keep track of him now. And there he goes. All right, so he starts using the vertical, and we're going to take about half of what he uses. That's turning room. We'll take it away from him by heading up with him. We don't want to use too much. And then he's headed down, so we'll go with him. We'll head down when he goes down. It's a pretty good brake turn there. A lot of energy off that. Look how much that helped me. I just followed him halfway up. Now I'm really aligning turn circles here. Okay, all right, that's going to spit me out a little bit. That's okay. We don't want to use all energy. You can't square that corner, right? The turn radius and ability of the jets are all relative to each other. He's going to try it again. So we're going to come up halfway with him. Got all kinds of speed here. We're all good. And when he heads back down, we're going to head back down with him. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, that just really that was nice. That was a nice alignment. Okay, we don't want to just try to cash it all in, but he's really in trouble now, right? We've got the speed to stay with him. He's going to try that high yo-yo again. So we're not going to go crazy falling up. About half. He has to come down. He's losing energy doing this. There he comes. Now he's coming down. We'll just carve inside that, right? That's our turning room now. That is our exclusive turning room that he gave us. He's going to have to guns defense here pretty soon, or just get hit. Now, what I have seen from the AI is not too terribly clever recognition of gun wezzes, so there doesn't appear to be much jinking. Sometimes, if you're right behind, I don't know what triggers their guns defense is what I'm saying. He was going to keep on doing the yo-yo thing until whatever it is that triggers his gun defense, which I think is a lower aspect situation where I have less aspect on. That was a fairly high aspect gunshot right there. So I think you have to be further back towards his 6 o'clock before they'll start flopping around in front of you. But as long as he has airspeed like that, it appears he'll continue to try to do the high yo-yo and low yo-yo stuff. So notice when he started going up with the high yo-yo, it really looked like he was creating a lot of angles. So you don't have to follow him up completely. I took about half of what he took, and as soon as I saw him dump his nose, because he's running out of airspeed, he has to. That's the whole purpose of the yo-yo. He goes up, grabs the potential energy of the altitude, then he over-rotates, comes back downhill. As soon as he over-rotates, I over-rotate with him, but I'm already a little bit lower. I've kept more energy, and now I have exclusive turning room that he's giving up as he comes downhill. So it's not a very useful, it really isn't very useful. It's kind of a last-ditch thing, and in a pure rate fight with somebody who knows what they're doing, the yo-yo just really isn't going to do anything, especially if there are two aircraft like the 15 and the 16 that are relatively equal in terms of rate fight capability, relatively anyway. So there you go, 2-circle rate fight. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights here. F4, F14, or sorry, F5, F14, not too hard to deal with, pretty easy to carve inside them. Single circle fight, pretty classic single circle fights, a couple of them with some high aspect gunshots. The second one, you saw me work my way back to 6 o'clock, which is what you're trying to do with the single circle if you can't get the snapshots. Let's talk two things about the snapshots in there. Number one, don't spend too much time pointing at him to take the shot. Just try to take it while he's transiting through your HUD, and then reverse your turn, get in plane, and turn with the bandit right there. Otherwise, you can get out of sequence with him, out of plane. All right? So watch out for that. Number two, I think the one shot was a no lock, so in DCS, if you go to guns in the F-15, the reticle's kind of locked forward, and that's more or less the aim point. It changes with range and G and aspect angle and how much lead fire you need, but that's still an aim point, and as close as that was, you saw I just put that in between him and where he was going, basically pointed where he was going and fired, and he met those shots there, even though I didn't have a radar lock. So you can take shots and you don't need a radar lock. In the actual aircraft, it's called an LCOS mode, and it uses some standard suppositions in terms of G and your in plane and ranges and things. So it's a little more dynamic because it moves around. It's not locked forward like that, but it's the same idea. You don't need a radar lock. You just have to do a little bit more guesswork of your own right there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that BFM with some of the Blue Air guys. The next one we'll do, as soon as I get to that video, is we'll start taking on some of the better Red Air, all right, some of the better Russian stuff, the Sukhois, the Su-27s, that kind of thing, MiG-29s. Hope you guys have a good one. That's all I've got. We will see ya.